There was a time when saving money was considered one of the smartest things a person could do. Our parents taught us to save. Schools taught us to save. Financial experts taught us to save. Put money in the bank. Build a safety net. Be patient. Avoid unnecessary risk. And over time, your financial future would become more secure. For generations, that advice made perfect sense. But today, something strange is happening. Millions of people are doing exactly what they were told to do. They are working, they are saving, they are trying to be responsible, and yet many of them feel like they are falling behind. The money in their savings account grows, but somehow life keeps getting more expensive. The balance increases, but the feeling of security does not. And that raises an uncomfortable question. What if saving money no longer works the way it used to? Not because saving is bad, not because saving is useless, but because the world around it has changed. This matters because we are living through one of the most unusual economic periods in modern history. Inflation has returned. Housing costs have exploded in many regions. Debt levels are rising. Artificial intelligence is transforming industries. Job security feels weaker. Markets are more volatile, and the global economy is being reshaped in real time. In this environment, understanding what is happening to your money may be more important than ever. Because many people believe they are protecting their future, when in reality, their purchasing power is quietly disappearing. And the difference between money and purchasing power may be one of the most important financial concepts of our time. Most people think about money in terms of numbers. A bank account shows $10,000, $20,000, $50,000. The number feels reassuring, but the number itself is not what matters. What matters is what that money can actually buy. Imagine you had $100,000 sitting in a bank account 10 years ago. Now imagine you still have $100,000 today. The number has not changed, but almost everything else has. Homes are more expensive, food is more expensive, energy is more expensive, insurance is more expensive, travel is more expensive, healthcare is more expensive. In many places, the exact same amount of money buys significantly less than it did before. The money stayed the same. Its purchasing power did not. This is where inflation enters the story. Inflation simply means prices rise over time. A small amount of inflation is considered normal in modern economies, but when inflation accelerates, the effect becomes much more noticeable. Think of inflation as a silent leak in a water tank. At first, the leak seems insignificant. You barely notice it. But year after year, the water level slowly drops. The same thing happens to money. If prices rise faster than your savings grow, your purchasing power shrinks. The account balance might look healthy, but its real value declines. This is one reason many savers feel frustrated today. They did the responsible thing. They avoided excessive spending. They avoided dangerous speculation. They saved consistently. Yet life became harder anyway. That is because traditional saving was designed for a different economic environment. A world where inflation was lower, a world where housing was cheaper, a world where wages and living costs moved more closely together, a world where bank accounts sometimes paid meaningful interest. Today, the situation is very different. For many years after the global financial crisis, interest rates remained extremely low. Banks paid almost nothing on savings. At the same time, asset prices rose dramatically. Stocks climbed, real estate climbed. Certain investments appreciated significantly. Meanwhile, cash sitting in a savings account often barely grew at all. This created an unusual situation. People who owned assets often saw their wealth increase. People who only saved cash frequently saw their purchasing power stagnate or decline. This does not mean everyone should rush into investing. Far from it. Investments carry risk. Markets fall. Real estate prices can decline. Businesses fail. Nothing is guaranteed. But it does highlight a growing divide in the modern economy. The divide between owning assets and holding cash. And that divide is becoming increasingly important. Now add housing to the equation. Housing may be one of the clearest examples of why traditional saving feels broken. Imagine a young couple trying to buy their first home. They save diligently. They sacrifice vacations. They drive older cars. They reduce spending. Every year they add more money to their savings account. But home prices rise faster than their savings. By the time they finally accumulate a down payment, Housing prices have moved even further away. They are running forward. Yet the finish line keeps moving. This experience has become increasingly common, and it creates a dangerous psychological effect. People begin to question whether discipline still matters, whether patience still works, whether saving is still worth the effort. That feeling is understandable, but it is important not to draw the wrong conclusion. The problem is not saving itself. The problem is believing that saving alone is enough. For decades, many people treated saving as the entire financial strategy. Today, that approach may no longer be sufficient because the world is moving faster, technology is moving faster, prices are moving faster, competition is moving faster, the economy is changing faster, and that means financial security increasingly depends on more than simply storing money. Artificial intelligence adds another layer to this story. AI is transforming industries at extraordinary speed. Some jobs will become more productive. Some jobs will change completely. Some jobs may disappear. Nobody knows exactly how the transition will unfold, but uncertainty itself has economic consequences. When workers feel uncertain about future income, they behave differently. They save more, they spend less, they become cautious. Yet ironically, simply saving more cash may not solve the underlying problem if inflation continues eroding purchasing power. This creates a difficult situation. People feel they need more security, but the traditional tools of security appear weaker. This is one reason financial anxiety feels so widespread. The old rules are becoming less reliable, and people can sense it. At the same time, debt is becoming more dangerous. When money loses purchasing power, many households rely on borrowing to maintain their lifestyle. Credit cards, personal loans, buy now, pay later services, car financing, home equity borrowing. Debt can temporarily hide financial pressure, but it rarely eliminates it. Instead, it often transfers future income into present consumption. And when interest rates rise, that future becomes more expensive. This is one of the biggest risks of the current environment. Many households face inflation on one side and debt on the other. Their savings lose purchasing power, while their liabilities become more costly. It becomes harder to move forward, harder to build wealth, harder to feel secure. And yet, despite all of this, there are opportunities hidden inside this shift. Not guaranteed opportunities, not easy opportunities, but real opportunities. The first opportunity is awareness. Many people still operate as if the world has not changed. Those who understand the shift early have an advantage because they stop focusing only on how much money they have and start focusing on what that money can actually do. They begin to think in terms of purchasing power, cash flow, flexibility, skills, ownership, resilience. These concepts may sound simple, but they are becoming increasingly important. The second opportunity is education. Never before in history have people had access to so much information. A person with an internet connection can learn skills that once required expensive education. They can study technology, finance, marketing, communication, business, data analysis, artificial intelligence. The ability to learn may become one of the most valuable assets of the coming decades, because while money can lose value, useful skills often become more valuable. The third opportunity is adaptability. The future is unlikely to reward those who cling to old assumptions. It is more likely to reward those who adapt. The economy is changing, technology is changing, industries are changing, consumer behavior is changing. People who remain flexible often have a better chance of navigating uncertainty. That does not mean chasing every trend. It means staying aware, staying curious, and remaining willing to learn. Now let's talk about practical lessons. The first lesson is simple. Do not confuse money with purchasing power. A larger bank balance does not automatically mean greater financial security. Always ask what your money can actually buy. The second lesson is to understand the purpose of savings. Savings are not only for growth. Savings are also for protection. Emergency funds matter. Liquidity matters. Flexibility matters. Having accessible cash can prevent a small problem from becoming a major crisis. The goal is not to eliminate savings. The goal is to understand their role. The third lesson is to pay attention to inflation. Most people spend more time thinking about investment returns than inflation. Yet inflation affects everyone every day. Every grocery trip, every utility bill, every rent payment, every insurance renewal. Ignoring inflation can be extremely costly over long periods of time. The fourth lesson is to invest in yourself. This may sound like a cliche, but in a rapidly changing economy, your skills often become your most valuable asset. Technology changes, markets change, jobs change. People who continue learning often create more options for themselves, and options are incredibly valuable during uncertain times. The fifth lesson is to respect risk. There is a growing temptation to search for shortcuts, to find the next big thing, the next guaranteed winner, the next easy opportunity. But reality rarely works that way. Every opportunity carries risk. Every investment carries uncertainty. Every decision involves trade-offs. Financial resilience is usually built slowly, not through dramatic moves, but through consistent habits over long periods of time. Perhaps the biggest lesson of all is this: saving money still matters. It just does not work the way it used to. Saving is no longer the finish line. It is the foundation. It is the first layer of security, not the entire strategy. In the past, saving alone could often carry people much further. Today, saving is only one piece of a much larger puzzle, a puzzle that includes inflation, technology, skills, housing, debt, markets, and an economy that is evolving faster than most people expected. This is why so many responsible people feel confused. They followed the old advice. They did what they were supposed to do, yet something feels different. And they are right. Something is different. The world changed. The financial environment changed. The rules changed. And understanding those changes may be one of the most important financial skills of the 21st century. Because the greatest threat is not inflation, or artificial intelligence, or market volatility. The greatest threat is believing the world still works exactly as it did 20 years ago. It doesn't. The future belongs to people who understand that reality. People who stay flexible. People who continue learning. People who build resilience instead of chasing certainty. And people who recognize that financial security is no longer about how much money you save. It is about how well you adapt to a world that refuses to stand still.